is there any evidence that I was here? Any visible evidence?
Well, it doesn't seem so.
Doesn't seem so. That's correct. So manager gets back from coffee break, logs in. I don't remember his password, of course. And there is no evidence that somebody has looked into your window. Again, that was passwordless attack. So you need to have admin or system privileges. Yeah, that's correct. And then by using PSExec, you spawn the process of task manager. And by using task manager, you connect to the session in question. You see what you want to see, and then you switch back to your session and log out. And nobody knows that you have spied on user. There is one more possibility of go passwordless, which not guaranteed to run. I could try, but I suspect this is not gonna work. But I want to show you what is this. So still manager is in. Let him stay. I'm logging in as Haxor. You don't need to repeat this exercise because I expect it will fail. You need specific DLLs for this, so I'm not sure this is gonna work. So CMD as administrator and back again to system. So I'm going to system terminals and PSExec-seed CMDXZ. So this CMD has system privileges. Who am I? But now I'm going to one more interesting folder in my tools. If you go to peer tools, if you go to secure, which I have mistyped here, secure like this. So anyway, you go in, you will see a set of utilites with short description. There's tools white paper, PDF. What specific tool I would like to show you is impersonation. What we see right now, in memory, we have sessions from different users. One of those users is manager. I could try spawning process from manager's credentials. So I'm going to secure folder, going to secure impersonate folder, and I will try, with no guarantee to work, secure impersonate dash user localhost manager and command say notepad xz. I will try. And something went wrong. I've tried this on specific Windows 10 versions. It works, but I don't have this Windows 10 version installed today. Just simply let me introduce one more source, rich source of information about hacking besides sysinternals. This is Secure Academy. They have their blogs, and you could read it and figure out a lot of interesting hacks weekly. Check all. A lot of tips and webinars how to perform attacks. Exactly, attacks. I'm not advertising their courses because I have my own courses, but still they have a lot of interesting tools, demos, like for example this one. Well, so their tools mostly work, but secure impersonate doesn't work for me. Not always, I'd say. An idea is that it dumps credentials from memory and creates new process based on those credentials. I still cannot figure out what's the reason of failing. Maybe some .NET is missing on this machine, .NET version. Maybe something else. They do not cover this in their manual. But that was the proof of concept. But basically, this is possible. You could perform injection in memory, dump credentials, and create new processes. You will see more ways to do this just a little bit later. Maybe I will have success on this machine. Let me check. It will take a minute. So on Windows 10, I have a new user such as manager, the password 1. Next, I log in as this account. Well, do it now. Okay, so the context is established. I can switch back to admin, and I can see this user and processes. So manager is here. Let me try my CMD. Secure impersonate, secure impersonate exe dash user manager dash command cmd exe. Notepad exe. Calculator exe. Bad luck. So it does something, but closes. So sorry, I cannot present this. Maybe some other user account like this one, or localhost. Bad luck, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm skipping this exercise. Anyway, now you know that there is some company which presents good demos and provides good tools, actually good tools for hackers. Now we go to next exercise. What you just saw in few exercises were passwordless attacks. So you just simply boot off your compact disk. You don't need a user password or something. You get system from system. You can do whatever, anything. And you don't need to know any password of user. You don't need to reset them. Now, let's talk about saved passwords. For this, I will use victim machine. You could try this exercise as well. And the purpose of this exercise to show you that if you save passwords somewhere in the system, they are decryptable. In this scenario, I will do what? So I'm here. Yeah, I will log in as administrator. You could do it on any version. It's not about Windows 7. On any Windows, actually. So I'm admin. I will create a service, a background process, which runs with separate privileges, with separate credentials. and I will save this password into the system. Typically, if you go to services, if you go to computer management and go to services, you see that services may be launched automatically, like this. It started, okay, good. Automatically upon system startup, and some services may use alternate credentials like system, network service, local service, specific user account. On modern systems, you will see even more, like here. You will see that usernames are quite different for many services. Some services are installed by you or by admin. I mean, not by attacker, by admin. I will install one of such services. Service control, create MySQL in path equals C Windows System 32 CEHv13. What's done here? I have no MySQL installation right here. So instead of installing, I substituted one of system executables to be launched as MySQL service. So if you go, if you go to computer management and go to services, you will see MySQL installed. But the key point is I want it to run with alternate privileges. That's why I'm going to user accounts and create specific user, MySQL, with the password of something such as password 123. Password 123. So user account is created. In many cases, in most cases, this user account is added to admins. And this is dedicated system account for MySQL. This could be email server, SMTP server, MySQL, database, whatever. The main idea that this is user account in the system, specific service system account. Vim user account, or what you use, Nakivo for backup. So in services, I go to MySQL and specify it to log on automatically with this account. MySQL and the password 123. Okay. So now this user account has the user rights set logon as service. As you might remember, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, I was discussing user rights. So this could be also interesting. Okay, so this service will run. Started. Will run with MySQL user account. If you go to processes, you will see that this service runs as MySQL. So that was the only preparation for this demo. So again, I have installed or created a service for my database server. I have decided that working as local system is bad. So I have created the separate user account for this, but also I have provided this account with admin privileges. And also I have saved password in here, exactly here. I have saved this password. So when system boots up, the system decrypts the password from those dots. And which means the password is kept by using reversible encryption. So the system is able to decrypt this password. So I am, as attacker, I'm able to decrypt this password. You just need to know where this password is saved. Okay, I will show you where. Did I get it? Local machine. I need system to do this. Yes, exact. Dash SID CMD. So where is my CMD? Give me my CMD. Oh, I know why. This CMD is located on logon screen. It's running. All right, I will switch to logon screen. Not a problem. Forget it. Local machine, security, policy, secrets. Service control, MySQL. Current value. So in registry, that's the exact place where encrypted password is stored. I need to decrypt it. The key point is that this password is kept here in reversible way. I don't need to crack hashes. The password is available, and the password is encrypted by using well-known key, symmetric key. So that's why I can easily decrypt this. How do I do this? Okay, I'm going to secure Academy tools. And what specific executable? What's that? SAS secret dumper. Should be this one. Not compatible with the version Windows. No. Okay, I know what to do next anyway. Let me check. The API. Let me check one more time. .NET Framework, that's wrong one. NTDS decryptor, no. I will just simply take the previous version of this dumper. Secure secrets dumper, probably. .NET once again. This is so bad when they compile tools requiring .NET. Okay, do I have it in my prerequisites? A second. .NET. Well, I have it. All right, let me try. This may take a minute or something. You know what? Oh, okay, good. Because I can repeat this exercise on the computer with .NET installed. We have both .NETs on Windows Web. Okay, let me check if I can do it quickly on this machine. C create service MySQL. bin path equals C Windows system 32 to alt. Yeah. Okay. Spools VXV. I'm not admin. That's why. Source control, create MySQL, bin path equals C Windows something, system32 spools VXZ. Okay, so the service was created successfully. Now in computer management, I create local user account such as MySQL and password 123, 123. Oh, password requirements. Okay, password 123. Password 123. Go. Let it be a local admin because this is how it works in most deployments. Go now to services and look for MySQL and configure it to run with this account, MySQL, and password 123, password 123. Go. Now I'm going to secure tools. And secure secrets dumper. Good, secure secrets dumper. And dump specific service equals MySQL system. Okay, thank you very much. System internals, cdo psexec-c cmdxz. And now from this CMD, I'm going to secure academy, secure secrets dumper, -- service equals MySQL. Now it's done. That was a little bit chaotic, right? But I hope you understand the idea that if you have some specific user account in users and service running with this user account, such as MySQL, and you have saved this password in configuration, so the system is able to decrypt this password. So an attacker is able to decrypt this password because it's encrypted by using well-known key. You just need to have system privileges to get to this register value. If you go to as admin to this regeted key, you will see that local mesh and security is not available. If you go from system account to regeted, you will see that on the local machine security, something is available for system. And that's exactly place where system stores some interesting keys and, for example, the passwords for services. Again, I can forward you back to Secure Academy website. They have training in details about DP API system. Well, any questions about this exercise, please? No? Let's attack applications. We will dump passwords saved in clear text from applications. Please go to victim machine. Victim machine is sorry, do we need to have a break already? No, no way.
Lunch break.
Big break? Okay, because we begin considerably big exercise, dumping passwords from Jude Winbox, and then brute force attack immediately. Let's keep it to an hour. So see you in 1 hour or something, or quicker. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
1 hour is okay.
Unfortunately, needs to have a break. Okay, see you.
You.
Testing microphone. Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you as well.
Good. Good. Sharing screen. Share this one. Good. So you're ready. This is very good. All right. So next, let's attack applications. If you're ready, of course. So please go to Victim machine. It has some applications installed, so you need to log in as limited user, such as Peter, and password 1. All right, so as you might see, Peter could be some network guy working with network monitoring software, such as the Dude, Winbox, something like this. So those applications are vulnerable a little bit, just a little bit. So if you double click Dude, you see that user account is pre-configured and password is behind asterisks. Okay, good. If you run Winbox, you see that account is pre-configured, basically just simply saved. And also you could connect to MikroTik by using those credentials. So the first task is very simple. Please find Dude account password. Go. What do you begin with? Give me ideas.
Oh, maybe it has some configuration file or something. I don't know.
Could be. Where do I find this configuration file?
Program files.
Okay, let's check the folder of this application. So it's program file dude.exe. Okay, open file, location. This is what you see. What do I go next?
In data.
Data.
Data. This one? Okay,
Yeah.
how do I check it? Open with something. Notepad is okay.
No.
Okay, so what's the password? First of all, basically, you see that a lot of things are displayed in clear text. That's first. Now just simply tell me the password.
I see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
1, 2,
that's
8.
correct. That's correct. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Yeah, because it's saved in clear text in configuration file. So now we have the user account for the router. And the username is dude, and the password is 128. All right. What about Winbox? As you might see, Winbox is also running in this machine, and it has password pre-configured. Where do I find it? Winbox is a little bit more complicated because you see a exe file is dropped to the desktop. Okay, so where do I find configuration file?
Maybe registry.
Forget it. Which one? Local machine or current user?
Current user maybe.
Okay, maybe software, and you could try finding it. Find save inbox. That's mute cache. Next, and basically that's it. Oh, once again, that's the same register key available for users. So fail. One more attempt. That's it. Or how do I check it. So if you launch Winbox.exe, you see the username Winbox and the application is Winbox, but it's not in the registry. More options, please.
Maybe updata.
Okay, let's go to updata of this user. So users, peer, updata. Next.
Roaming.
Roaming, MikroTik, Winbox, and one more time with file. So what's the username and the password? Let's open it full screen.
ABCDFG.
Yeah, that's correct. So the login is here, password is here. Well, let's use Winbox to connect to the router. It's not necessary to use Winbox. As you might remember from previous day, there are more ports open on the router. So if you go to attacker machine, if you navigate to, okay, we have scanned from Kali, you could go from Kali. It doesn't really matter. If you go to the router, to port 80, so let me check. I'm launching the browser. Okay, I'm going to IP address of the router, 192.20.01. You see, it has the login prompt. So what do I type in? I don't have admin credentials. What credentials we have? Okay, Winbox. We have Winbox credentials, and as you just told, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right?
Yep.
Never save. Login. Well, I'm in. And what's specific to this router, you click web folders, and you see an interface, GI to configure router. It's very like what you see in the real Winbox. Very close to that. So from attacker point of view, what are you going to do next? Of course, I need to perform all enumeration of everything, such as interfaces, IP addresses. So I see interfaces, okay, good. IP addresses, okay, good. DHCP server and client settings, firewall, of course. And but you see, I'm limited user. When I try to, okay, check the firewall rules, I see some allows and drop, right click. Oops, can I disable it or remove? Not permitted. Well, it turns out I am not permitted to modify rules because I'm limited. Where do I get user counts? It's like tools, no, not tools, it's system and users. Please don't mind this one. That was my mistake. So read this as read access only. If you look at user list, what you can say in general? Give me some idea.
Well, there is one user with admin rights, and
That's correct.
there is a Winbox user with limited rights.
That's correct. What else?
What means 3 digits? It means the length of the password or what?
3 digits, 8 digits, 7 capitals. Is it suggestive in some way? Because we know that the password of Winbox is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we know that the password of Dude is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think this looks suggestive.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, but you cannot like guess. You can guess, of course, but let's do it the other way. Let's hack it. So we see that something suggests us that the password is crackable. Please go to Kali. In Kali, go to command line. And let's try brute force against the router. And the command is Hydra. And the username, the login, is admin. You could specify word lists for login names. You could specify word list for passwords. In this scenario, I will use brute force attack. And this brute force is called by -X switch. First, I need to specify the minimum number of characters and the maximum number of characters. So 3 to 3. And then I need to specify the character set. This could be a capital, a small, digit. In this case, we guess to have 3 digits. So after column, I specify 1 as the character of digits. So in this scenario, we perform brute force of passwords for username admin. And the protocol which I will use against MikroTik is SSH, because SSH was enabled. You could have this documented in your findings after port scanning. So SSH and specify the IP address of your victim. Go. And now tell me what the password actually is.
Well, it says the password is 123.
Okay, you did it.
Yeah.
So you made some discovery and figured out the password of admin. You know, so after you hack the insecure application, you could do it which way? Unrestricted physical access to computer. You boot off your city. Then you dump the content of C drive. Typically, when I check what's going on client machine, I'm just simply like checking their desktop. I'm checking their documents. So I see that there's Winbox.exe on Peter's desktop. Okay, good. I see dude placed public desktop. Good. So it's worth trying. And then you could copy those files to your home PC and analyze at home. And then make some conclusions. So hacking framework in this case is, again, reconnaissance for scanning, enumeration. You have enumerated applications, then checking what's inside, like clear text protocols, clear text files, or whatever. Of course, you need to understand the roles of the users. Then you have new horizons open, because now you have the admin access to the router, and you can log on to the router. And if you do it like from the same Winbox, because you can download Winbox from their webpage, or just like when you log into this website, it also has the link to Winbox. I mean, just Winbox is not anything special. This is just the application which controls the router. So, okay, you could log in now as admin and password 123. What you gonna do next? What's your next step? I'm admin, I'm in. So what? Give me some ideas. What you gonna do next? No? Okay. Add one more admin account. This is a good idea in general, yes. And then you control the router independently from main admin. But what I'm asking for is like the router currently blocks a lot of traffic. So could be you may want to add your PC to exceptions. One more option is right-click this firewall rule and disable it. And now nothing stops packets. And the whole new world is open for you in DMZ network. Previously, you had limited set of protocols and ports open to DMZ, such as port 80, 125, DNS, and basically that's it. Now, since you have changed your point of view, you can rescan that network and call nmap once again. Say, rescan impure such as 10.20.02.16, which is SQL Server. If you do it like that, you will figure out that a lot of ports are open. Previously, you could only have 80, and this is it. Now you have SMB, RDP. What is that?
FTP.
FTP. What is this?
SQL.
Yes, SQL in here. So you have plenty of next capabilities. So the first possible step is to reconfigure firewall, is to reconfigure the router to have some outcome, to have some benefits from this. Second possible option, you could sniff traffic directly on router. If you select tools, you will see a lot of interesting utilities, including packet sniffer. We will not do this right now, but in general, you have again a lot of new capabilities. So I will not continue with the scanning, but in general, when you change the configuration of the network, you need to rescan all the remote machines. 2003, 2012, 2016, discover new ports, new services, try brute forcing this one, maybe that one, and so on. Let me show you one more possibility for Hydra. CEHv13 is the graphical interface for Hydra. And now you see how many protocols are there supported by Hydra. For example, you could now brute force SMTP or maybe POP or maybe what else is in use? FTP. Since you have discovered that the remote machine has FTP on, you have SMB as well in the list. So again, we will not continue. Now you know that this tool exists, CEHv13 or maybe Hydra. Let me show you one more possible way to attack remote machines with brute force. So since you have discovered that remote SQL Server has RDP open, FTP open, SMB open, let's attack SMB. For this, you need to have word lists. That's the best idea, to have word lists. I have created a simple list of users on my desktop. Could you please check if you have the same list in your Kali? If not, just simply let's create this list. I will add manager. I will add VM. Save. So please check if you have it in your Kali on the desktop. If you don't have it, just simply create this file.
Not yet.
If I may ask, is there a reason why in the MikroTik user list there is such a help about password length and format?
Because I did it.
Oh, it's some sort of comment. Okay.
Yeah, this is some sort of admin mistake, misconfiguration. And that was done for you to be able to have some success of hacking. Otherwise, if you launch SSH brute force against MikroTik, you will spend days, simply days, before you get some result. Maybe a month also happens. Right, so do you have user list on your desktop already?
Yes.
Okay, good. This user list could be like sniffed from the network, could be stolen from the main controller, Jason, Martin, Sheila. I have not added those users in here. Jason, Martin, that's okay, safe. And it could be hard to crack hashes of passwords. Let's say brute force with dictionary could be possible option. Okay, so I have dumped the user list from somewhere. Now I'm going back to command line. Where's my command line? Hydra dash login. Login capital. Previously, in previous command, I have used L small, this one, specify a single username. In this case, I specify L capital and specify the path to my word list file. It's also a good idea to use tabs to make sure you're in the right folder. Currently, I'm not in the right folder, not in my home folder. So okay, Hydra dash L capital home Kali desktop. Now tabulation works. Users. Okay, so word list of users is ready. Where do I get the word list for passwords? I'm in the folder of word list. So the password key capital to specify the word list for passwords is in the current folder, say fasttrack txt, which is actually, okay, let me double tap to see the list of possible files. No. Fasttrack, RACU, which is bigger file, DNS map, as you might know. So, okay, I'll select fasttrack. And next you need to specify protocol. And the protocol in this case could be FTP against the remote machine, but SMB should work better. So SMB, and the machine is 10.20.216. Let's give it a try. Go and see. May I continue?
Yep.
Trying. JSON query. Okay, good. Not so good. But at least I have some account at the moment, and I could continue with my further attacks. Let me double check a list of users. So that's the list of users. I can try adding Sheila. Was it like this? SQL Sheila. And save. And once again, because this is not like hybrid attack, not brute force, just simple dictionary attack. Okay, now I have hacked 2 accounts. Do you have any result?
For me, Hydra crashes. After a while.
It cannot find the fast track file.
Please make sure to specify path. So you could specify full path and it's going to work.
Yeah, it's doing something.
Very good. In case somebody needs assistance, just tell me, okay?
It still doesn't work for me. I need your help, Peter.
Share your screen? Or what? Your student?
Exactly. So you can.
Okay. Let me mark this. Path. You haven't specified path. So do what? First, it's case sensitive. Yeah, that's okay. So just type here the path. Not dot, but say USA share word lists. So USA share, type word lists.
You said share and
yeah, word lists. Try. Give it a try. File not found. Home Kali desktop.
But it's there.
Because it's not TXT.
Okay.
It's just users. Oops. Stop. I'm not interfering anymore.
Okay. Okay, so sorry for that stupid mistake.
You don't need to be sorry because everything is good. So you succeeded, you see, as a result.
Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
So I'm switching back to my Kali and one more example of attack. Still, I will use dictionary with names, but now the totally different approach. Password spraying attack. And it looks like this. So Hydra and and the list of usernames still the same. Users txt, but I know the password exactly. So p small password 1, and I will apply this password to every user in the list, and the protocol SMB against the main controller 172.20.208. Should work probably. And there's the result. So try it and tell me if it works for you.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, good. There's one more
For
possibility.
me, it's not
Yeah.
working. It's not brute force.
Show me.
nothing. It starts attacking, but it crash, or I don't know.
Question: have you disabled the firewall? That's first.
I didn't.
Well, if you follow me, it's like you have hacked into the router, then you have figured out what are the firewall rules, then you disable the firewall rule which blocks everything, and then you rescan ports and figure out that SQL Server has SMB open, and then you attack SMB.
So I probably missed some stuff.
Yeah, you could try disabling firewall first, because we will need this functionality later. So you could log into the router with hacked password and just simply disable drop rule.
From Kali or from which machine?
Also from Kali is good. So navigate to URL of, yeah, so 220.01, 20.01, admin 123. Go to open it full screen, go to web folder tab. Yeah, yes, this one. Then go to IP firewall, F firewall. Good. Scroll down to the last rule and click disable. Disable. Just cancel here. And now you could try from Kali, from command line once again.
It's working.
It works. Okay, good. And there's one more command which could be mentioned in the course, and you may have questions. It's crack map exec, which has the same functionality. It has some specific switches. In this case, I have used SMB protocol against 172.20.208, and the domain name. So I'm specifying domain name CEHv13, which actually not necessary, because I'm attacking the domain controller, and all the login attempts are performed against the domain, not the local database. And the list of usernames still desktop are not here. It's root, Kali, desktop, home Kali. Wow. Home Kali, desktop, users. You could also watch careful for prompts. You see that this is like bright white because it has recognized the path. and the password of password1. So this should work in very the same way. Go. What's bad? Dash p small, maybe. Well, you see the result that user peer succeeded with the password of password1. So that was crack map exec. Well, it's still not about hashes, but online attacks. Now let's do what? Let's dump passwords from memory in clear text. For this, you need Windows victim. And some users should be logged in. One user is enough. You could, I can log in as admin as well, or you could do the same, like administrator password if you want. But basically, one single user is enough. And switch user. So there are some users logged in to a victim machine. When you log in, multiple DLLs are utilized. And the specific application, which is called Local Security Authority Subsystem, keeps your password in clear text in memory under some circumstances. So if you can attach a debugger to this part of memory, you could dump the content of this memory and figure out the passwords. So for this, you need system privileges. And that's why you still have this magic button available. So you could do it remotely, you could do it locally. It doesn't really matter. Who am I? I'm system. You could be an administrator or system for this. Or you could also have debug programs user right. So in case somebody else has debug programs privilege, you could utilize this account as well. Okay, next I'm going to peer tools. In Peer tools, I'm going to Mimikatz. So please repeat this exercise together with me. So you go to System, you navigate to Peer Tools, go to Mimikatz, and next folder Mimikatz as well. And next folder, since this is 32-bit system, you go to Win32 and run Mimikatz.exe. But I suggest modifying properties of CMD. What I mean, if you click system icon, if you go to properties, if you navigate to layout, make sure to make it wider. So I set 160 and the depth of buffer size 300. So the window size is 160 to 25, just simply double wide. And screen size, not necessary to be too high, but buffer size 300. Okay, so now it's quite wide, and you can have scroller to have your previous activities logged. So once again, how to do this? You click system icon, you click properties, you select layout and specify those options. You could customize with some other values. But it's important to see everything on a single screen. Tell me when ready and launch Mimikatz.exe.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Who's next?
you may proceed.
Hmm.
All right. In Mimikatz, if you were admin, you need to get system privileges, but I'm a system at the moment. So you don't need to specify this command right now to get system. Now, I will make sure I have debug privilege. So the command is privilege debug. Okay, so I have this privilege, and now I can dump passwords from CEHv13. And command is secure-lsa logon passwords space full. So give me all the passwords from memory. Do it. Please pay attention to syntax. Secure-lsa . And that's the result. So the command and the result. Let me explain this result. MSW1 DLL is logon DLL. It never operates passwords in clear text, never caches. It creates a hash from your string and compares hashes with locally stored in PC. I will show you just a little bit later where user hashes are kept. So this DLL only recognizes hashes. You will see it. There's one more DLL, terminal server package DLL, which is utilized to perform single sign-on to RDP service. When RDP server never asks you for credentials, you could configure group policy to deliver your existing credentials automatically. This is very useful for published application mode in RDP. So you don't need to type your credentials many times. You just simply log into a PC and your credentials are cached and then delivered to remote terminal service. This is done in terminal server package DLL. This one is a Web Digest DLL. Web Digest is designed to perform automatic logon to web servers, which support digest authentication, which is, for example, Microsoft Exchange, Microsoft SharePoint, running on Microsoft IaaS Internet Information Server. So if you would like to log in automatically to your web resources, you need to cache your credentials in memory in clear text. The reason why Kerberos DLL keeps your credentials in clear text in memory, I don't know. Just never explored this. Well, so all locally logged on user accounts are cached. As you might see, MySQL is also here, which is the service. And Peter also has interactive login session, and his password is cached as well. Why we are doing this on Windows 7? Because on Windows 7, all those DLLs were caching everything by default. Beginning Windows 8 and then moving to this one is interesting. So it has one more credential cached. And then later on Windows 10, Microsoft mitigated this issue and doesn't cache credentials by default. But still, if you configure group policy to log in automatically to web, to RDP, this technique still works. And if you want your, for example, Windows 8 to cache credentials, you could change one registry key. Let me show you an example. say navigate it. If you go to local mesh and let me check system current control set control security providers. So this one. In Web Digest, if you create one more value, such as new word value, use logon credential equals 1. So after reboot, Windows 8 will continue caching your password in clear text and memory within Web Digest DLL. So once again, Microsoft has mitigated this issue in modern operating systems, but you still can downgrade security by using registry keys and get your hack value. What I suggest you visiting, I will Google this a second. Mimikatz GitHub. And the developer is called Gentil Kiwi. And there is some README describing what to do and how to do this with commands. So you also may search for more demos on YouTube, and he also has blog. I hope it works. Yeah, it's in French language, but still you could translate it on fly with AI support. Presentations. So Mimikatz is well-known application. Everybody knows this. It's worth checking, reading, and you may be asked on exam about Mimikatz. What specifically, I don't know. I just know that Mimikatz is described in system hacking module, and you may be asked on exam about this. There are different options to play around with Mimikatz. Just for example, say this is, okay, Windows 8. It has PowerShell. Windows PowerShell. You could use invoke web request command or short version of get http live/sysinternals.com/procdump.exe process dumper. Download it to your computer. Make a dump of sys.exe. A second. -out file. C Windows temp procdump.exe. Let me try. So it runs. Now I will execute C Windows temp procdump.exe dash accept EULA to not to ask more questions. Email sys.exe. Access denied. You know why? Because system. So I need psexec to escalate privileges. Okay, like this. psexec. Now with system privileges, I can do it from here. Okay, I've tried to save the dump to the current folder, which is eDrive. Let it be like that. So saving this dump to the root of the C drive. And if you check the C drive, you'll see the dump of the memory of this file. You could deliver this file to your attacker machine, copy, paste, and then perform Mimikatz execution on your machine. By this, you do not expose Mimikatz to the victim machine. That's the meaning of this demo. And then, okay, if you can manage to download to copy these two Mimikatz, it's going to be like this: CEHv13, $, for example. Can I do this? Administrator. Password. Oh yeah, because I am. Where am I? I'm Haxor, that's why. Okay, so paste dump to the remote machine, and then I can analyze this dump from Mimikatz in here. Oh yeah, the only issue, let me rename it like this. SAS dump. Make it shorter, just simply shorter. So okay, I have delivered dump file to attacker machine, and now I can type what? I can type LSA dump SAM. Not this way, sorry. Secure LSA mini dump of file CLSA dump should be this one. And now secure LSA login passwords. Processor architecture. Thank you very much. It says you need to run 64-bit Mimikatz version, but I'm running this on 32-bit. I will not continue. The global idea is if you deliver dump file to attacker machine, you could do whatever on your attacker machine, still not exposing Mimikatz XZ to the victim network. Okay, next. Let's get back to pass the hash attack and back to that previous picture of the over 100 server deployment and multiple workstation deployment. If you can manage to dump credentials like with the password, you're done. Everything works. But say on more protected systems, or if the system was rebooted, so you cannot get to memory because memory will not contain an actual password. How do I test this? I will try this on Windows 8, you know, because it's 64-bit. This is good. So I will launch Mimikatz with system within system context. Mimi x64 Mimikatz XZ. Just simply configuring CMD with 160 width, 300 height, something like this. Okay, Mimikatz XZ. Let me try once again to dump passwords from a computer where no admin is logged in or no user is logged in. So privilege debug, secure LSA, login passwords. Cool. And what I can see from the output from the output exactly this one. As you might see, by default, Windows 8 does not cache credentials. You may ask, okay, I have reconfigured registry, so why still not cached? Because you need to reboot, that's why. So if I reboot, you will see this here, my password in WebDigest DLL. But I don't want to reboot right now. I will use totally different technique. What I will do is I will dump password hashes from some file. Let me explain the idea where Windows keeps the passwords. If you go to Windows folder, if you go to System32, if you go to config, you'll find few interesting files, such as SAM, such as security, such as system. All of this is actually registry. Registry hives. And some file, exactly some file, contains user password hashes. Hashing is one-way encryption. You cannot decrypt password from hash, because hash is like signature. And when you log in, the password you type in login prompt is being hashed, and hashes are compared if this is right or not. So by comparing hashes, the system decides if you have typed the correct password. So hashes are kept here. And one more, okay, I will skip this. So if you go to registry, if you go to SAM here, you cannot see it because by default, DACLs are configured to prevent admins from accessing this key, but you can do it from system account. I will exit Mimikatz, run regedit with system privileges. So you will see. So the system privileges, if you go here, you could expand the content and you will see user accounts in here. For example, this one. Default built-in accounts are administrator with decimal SID security ID 500. Guest with decimal security ID 501. You will be asked on exam about this. So what's the default security ID? Basically not security ID, no, relative ID of administrator. If you check command line, if you check who am I all, if you go to the top, you will see the security ID of this user account. Security ID is split by halves. Say you may call this one domain SID and relative ID. So the user account with relative ID 500 decimal is built-in administrator. So even if you rename this user, the security ID is unchangeable. So that's why they will ask you. And that's why default ID 500 is your target for hacking. So the password is kept somewhere there like this. It's not the password itself, but it's hash. And this hash is encrypted on top with machine key. But the idea that this password and even more copies of hashes could be kept here if you have enabled password history. Well, so what can I do with Mimikatz? I'm going to administrator. Haxor. Not this one. Where's my admin? Manager. I'm looking for administrator. Come on. CEHv13. Yeah, there is go. There is it. So as you might see, I don't have in here the password in clear text, but I can dump hash from admin SAM record. Admin is not logged in anyway, so I cannot dump this password anyway because he has not logged in. So LSA dump SAM dumps hashes from SAM file. So this one is that administrator with relative ID 500, and this is his NTLM hash. On modern Windows, NTLM hash is the only local hash. On previous systems such as XP, there also was LM hash, which is crackable in minutes already. But I will not try cracking this hash because this could take millions of years. I will take this hash and utilize it. So I need this hash. I need to copy this hash. Okay, let me try. Maybe this is gonna work, maybe. So I have dumped hash LSA dump or secure LSA. Pass the hash command. The username is administrator. And the domain, in this case, this is a local host because this Windows 8 is not domain joined. NTLM hash is this one. Let me try. So as you might see, one more command line window appeared, and I expect this to be administrator. It will not be shown like this. This is system, but it will have administrator account credentials. How to check if this is right or not? Net view CHDC. I see a list of shares. Net use. Hey, CHDC, say $C. Successfully. Do you remember who is permitted to navigate to $C share? Admins and backup operators. Let me go to the main controller and check what's going on. On the main controller, I need computer management. In computer management, I will see what sessions are established to my PC. And from Windows 8, an administrator is connected to my C drive. To the C drive, it's like I can navigate to this folder and see what's inside. And my controller will show me open files. So what actually happened? Let me explain you once again. This is the network. You have installed it. You have installed multiple machines with the same username and the password, such as username administrator and the password of this one. I cannot crack this password from hash. It's encrypted one way, but I know this hash, this hash. So on that machine, by using system privileges, I spawn new process CMDXZ by using this admin hash, admin password hash. So this specific CMDXZ is running with this administrator and this password credentials. But you have typed the same credentials in here, administrator and password. So the hash for this user account is the same. And then I can navigate to a domain controller with no issues. I can navigate to other machines as well, to this machine, to that machine, because the local admin password is one and the same on all machines. That's why. So that's why I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, and so on. Because it was installed with one and the same password, which I don't know. I still don't know what's the password. So as you might see in here, I just simply have hash. I never know the password. And let me explain one more time, because I suspect you not really getting how dangerous is this. Say there's the computer. I'm rebooting it and booting off my installation city. Or it was turned off. I'm turning on and booting off my city. How much time does it take to replace utilman with CMD?
A minute.
A minute. So Shift F10, I replace utilman, I enable RDP, I enable unauthenticated RDP, and this is it. So a minute or two, and reboot. Then I go to my attacker machine. I don't need victim machine anymore. It's done. But let it boot. Let it boot and initialize. So I'm going to attacker machine. I have RDP connection to that remote machine. Yeah, I want it. Yes, don't ask again. I have remote system. Since this is RDP, I can copy paste my executable easily. I can go to my executables. I can dump hashes. I can execute secure LSA past the hash and the username, administrator, and so on. And then I can connect to another machine in seconds. Basically, it took a minute to, in fact, to take control over victim machine. Now I have unattended, unmonitored remote system access to that machine. And while victim is working, he's not, he has no clue that I am in. So the victim is working. This could be even sysadmin, so IT guy. So any IT-related activities from this PC is normal, just simply normal, nothing outstanding. So, but I'm into that remote machine. I will try, because this takes seconds actually. So this is administrator already, not system anymore. I'm in. I'm connected to the main controller. Okay. Now, if you go to the main controller, so that was attacker working remotely in Windows victim. If you go to the main controller, you will see that the session from CEHv13 with administrator account to the main controller. So I have attacked Windows 7 and connected to that Windows 7 from attacker machine. And then from Windows 7, I connected to the main controller. And it took seconds. And this type of attack is called pass the hash. When you select hash and use this hash to go to another machine. There could be mitigation of this. Let me show you an example in Google. Mitigating pass the hash and other credential theft. So you go to Microsoft.com and there is a book, considerably small, which describes what to do with pass the hash attacks. In general, there are two countermeasures. First countermeasure is kind of simple. If you go to, say, client machine, and I'm closing all of this not to confuse you. So if you go to group policy, GP edit MSC, if you navigate to Windows settings, security settings, local policies, user rights, and now we are back to user rights. What's interesting? And deny access from the network. What is it? What is it? Deny access from the network. Add the local account and member of administrators group. So in case somebody steals a local account on this Windows 8, and this account is also a member of admins, this account will not be permitted to connect via SMB to this PC. This effectively stops pass the hash. You could also remove debug programs permission from admins. This effectively stops password dumping from memory. But this user right is required, for example, for SQL. You cannot install SQL without this right. And you like, okay, I have one SQL in my network. No, you have multiple SQLs in your network, but you typically never know because some applications have SQL engine built in, some limited engine, that's why. And one more countermeasure. I will also show this on Google. Google. Microsoft LAPS Labs. You could configure group policy to generate random passwords for built-in admin or some specified admin. It's here. So you configure this group policy for random passwords. For example, every 30 days. And this random password will be backed up to the main controller. And this is what you see on the main controller. That this computer, the local administrator account has this password and it's valid, say, for 2 weeks. And this gives you additional advantages. In case your user stuck somewhere without the network and you need to help him quickly, you can expose this password to user and then set new expiration time like tomorrow. And when computer will be back online, it will change the local admin password to new random. and backup it to the main controller. So you will see it on the main controller. So, so having random passwords of local admin on computer accounts, oh, no, not this, on computer accounts in Active Directory is good idea. Next, that's not even it. Things could be much worse. Some user accounts are critical for Active Directory. If you go to the main controller, if you enable advanced view, because you always need to do this. If you go to users container, you will see some special user, Kerberos ticket service account. This account is used to create new sessions of users. Let me try this exercise. I will explain the meaning, but with some shortcuts. I will launch Mimikatz directly on the main controller, just to make it quicker. Just not to connect from window to window to window to window. Technically, I can do what? I can navigate from attacker machine to victim machine. By using pass the hash, I can connect to the main controller. And then on the main controller, I can use psexec to execute CHDC, say Mimikatz remotely. I can do it like that. But to make shortcut, I will run Mimikatz directly on the main controller, just to speed up the process. So first, I need system privileges. So I'm going to my tools. I'm going to PS tools. So there's that. System terminals. psexec-sid cmd.exe. So where is my CMD? I want my CMD. Who am I? No. I want my CMD. I will relog on to make it clear. Okay, CMD. E drive, system terminals, psexec64-sid cmd.exe. psexec. Something is wrong. What's the reason? Should not be like that. But it's here. It is just not displayed on the screen. I know, because I have more CMDs in memory, like this one. Okay, I'll reboot. What I want to get from the main controller is the password hash of Kerberos account. Oh yes, thank you, virtualization. You're so kind. Main controller, go. By having hash of Kerberos, I can create new random sessions of random users, of admin, manager, Peter, whatever account of my choice. All right, so the main controller is ready, I suppose. I will check Task Manager if I have more CMDs. There are no more CMDs in here, so okay. eDrive, series internals. Yes, exact 64. That's stayed. CMD go. So where is my CMD? What happened to you? All right. I will try it from admin. Anyway. Mimikatz, x64, Mimikatz XZ. Okay. So now I need to dump password of specific user. So privilege debug. I don't know if this is required at the moment, but just in case. Debug. LSA dump. LSA. Yes, I need privilege. Debug privilege. Inject. Name. Okay, what I have dumped and what I will save to Notepad. Domain seed. Because I will use Kerberos ticket to spawn new Kerberos session. Next, user Kerberos ticket. And tell them hash of this user is this one. Anything else? I guess no. Save. I will save it to my C drive. Hash. Basically, that's it. I could execute Mimikatz with switches. Let me show you an example. So it's not necessary to do it in interactive way. If you go to my tools, Mimikatz remote, you will see some text files and the bat files. And this is how it's done. With the single command line. You call Mimikatz with parameters such as securLSA, this package. And if you want to do it with system privileges, you do it psexec-s. When I do it right like this, I do it on remote machine. It's not necessary to use local machine. You could do it on remote machine. So, but first I need to copy. So I'm creating Mimi folder on the remote machine. Then I copy executable to the remote machine. Then I psexec on the remote machine with system privileges, this Mimikatz XZ. And in quotes, in double quotes, you specify more commands because it has columns. And the output will be redirected to text file. Well, but this is like just an option. In this case, I have saved Notepad. Oh, yeah, no, not Notepad, but hash.txt in the root of the C drive. I need to deliver this file to attacker machine. I will copy paste to attacker machine. Of course, I know the admin password, otherwise Mimikatz will not work. Give me my login prompt, administrator, password, hash to my desktop. And just in case, I will re-log on to make sure I have no any other sessions established. Okay. So as the final result, I have executed Mimikatz on the main controller. I have dumped hash of krbtgt user. I have the main seed. Now it's time to create faked user session. So I'm going to my tools, Mimikatz, 64-bit version, and run it. Next, I will execute so-called golden ticket attack. Kerberos golden. For this attack, I need to know the domain name. So the domain is CHlocal. And the security ID of this domain is here. And the hash of Kerberos user account. So this is RC4, this one. And the username, which will cover my activities, as for example, Miroslav Kutska. And the real user to be executed as built-in administrator, ID 500. So I will cover administrator account under Miroslav Kutska name and pass the ticket to deliver this Kerberos ticket to my memory. Go. So it has created the Kerberos ticket for Miroslav Kutska as CHlocal, and it's in my memory. MISC CMD. So this CMD now has Miroslav Kutska Kerberos ticket for Active Directory domain. NetView CHDC, NetUse mDrive CHDC $, and go to mDrive. I'm doing this from attacker machine. Now let's check what the main controller recognizes. So I'm going to computer management. I'm going to shared folder sessions. It needs to think about it a little bit. Yeah. As you might see, Miroslav Kutska is connected from Windows 10. Do you see anything unusual in here? Anything specific? Come on, refresh. Nothing? Nothing so special? No? What if I told you that I can do it this way? Like this one. You will see Elon Musk in here. But question, if this user exists, find Miro. There is no such user. Let me find all users. And that's just users. Oh, okay. Type user. This is the complete list of users in this Active Directory. There are no more users in this Active Directory, but still Miroslav Kutska is connected, is authenticated and connected to the main controller. And that's even more. This Miroslav has some unlimited privileges, right? Because I'm connected to $C share in that. Let me check the security log. So if you go to Aventure Security, if you check for successful logons, cannot target this, okay, anyway. Successful logons. Look at this. So security ID corresponds to built-in administrator because of security ID 500, but it's identified as Miroslav Kuska, a user which does not exist in this Active Directory. But actually, technically, this is built-in administrator. And this type of tag is called golden ticket. Golden Kerberos ticket. I understand that some part of this could be hard to understand, hard to get, yeah, especially for beginners. But maybe you have some questions. Very few questions, please.
And this happen in a standard way that there is a account name, but the security ID belongs to some other.
Yeah, so I can create the name of my choice and select any security ID of my choice from existing users, from existing domains. So this is not necessary to be administrator. In this Active Directory, there's an installer. I can dump his security ID and log in as Elon Musk. So you will see that in security logs, you will see Elon Musk accessing files or something, but technically this will be installer or MySQL or guest account. But you see privileges. Installer and admin have admin privileges. That's why. If you just simply want to confuse forensics, you could take like Peter account's security ID, but log in as Miroslav user account, and forensics will be totally screwed or at least confused. But again, if I have hash of this user, I can create new sessions of my choice. Of course, to get this user, you need some techniques. You need unrestricted physical access. If you can manage to reboot the main controller from your USB stick, yes, you'll dump this hash. If you can utilize other users' admin privileges or abuse system privileges, you can dump this hash and create more sessions. More questions, please.
But if there are antivirus program on the domain controller, you can't access the process with the hashes now because it's blocked.
That's correct. That's correct. So let me show you one more possible way of accessing the main controller. Say not use. Say 10.20.2.16. 10.20.2.16 IPC dollar. User administrator. And the password. So currently everything is okay. Now I need ESExec. cd say sysinternals exec on the remote machine 10.20 10.20 to 16 CMVXZ. As you might see, I'm located on the remote machine. Host name. Is it anything new to you right now? How to execute commands remotely. So I'm doing this from attacker machine on SQL. Do you understand this? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Tell me yes. Okay, now what I can do on a remote machine before Mimikatz. PowerShell exe dash command set MP preference exclusion path the here tools. So what I'm doing, I'm adding on a remote machine on 2016 server. It's not recognized because it doesn't have this preference on 2016. Let me check. SQL. Do we have PowerShell in here? Yes. Set MP, no command. So Defender not opening. It's
But Defender
disabled.
controls the PowerShell as well, no?
You could try this on your Windows 10, 11, 2019, Windows Server 2025. It will work. The next command is PowerShell. I have exited from remote machine. Okay, anyway, PowerShell dash command. Let me put it in quotes, maybe set MP preference. And the command is disable real-time monitoring true. Like this. It will not be executed on that remote machine, but you could try it on your machine, on your physical machine if you want. Maybe let me take some student machine. PowerShell set MP. Set MP preference, disable real-time monitoring true. That's it. So yes, I will do this before copying Mimikatz. More questions, please. If not, let's have coffee break. Is it okay? Because we're on a schedule, so everything is good.
Yeah.
Okay, see you in 20 minutes.
Okay.
So you still here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. So moving to the next exercise then. I have described few passwordless attacks, such as unrestricted physical access or say taking user session without knowing his password, or say creating new sessions by dumping hashes. You still don't know the password, just simply dumped hash. Now it's time to try cracking hashes. So let me show you where hashes are residing on the main controller as well, because now you know that on workstations, if you go to C drive Windows System 32 config, you will figure out that no. Am I a limited user here? I'm not limited user here. Okay, I will describe why I disable UAC. You will see. So on victim machine, if I go to C drive, Windows System 32 config, so you figure out that, come on, I'm still limited user in here, SQL. If you go to C drive, if you go to Windows folder System 32 config, so eventually you will figure out that yes, this some file contains hashes. But what you need to know that typically hashes are encrypted on top with one more key. This key is kept in system register key. So if you want to steal this data from victim's machine, please take both files, SAM and system. Also, I remember there was some specific issue to Windows 10. Let me check. Please take into account DACLs. DACLs are really important. For example, you now see that I cannot navigate to some specific folders when I'm limited user count. Let me show you one more idea. If I go to Windows folder System 32 config from command line and check DACLs on some file, I cackles SAM. You see that, okay, administrators and system have full control over this file, and this is it, no users. Some specific versions of Windows 10 had vulnerability that some file was also open for users for reading. So users were able to copy this file to their location and analyze at home. You also should have noticed that I have downloaded prots dump.exe from sysinternals to C Windows 10. So I cackles temp, and this is something specific actually. If you analyze permissions from command line, you'll see that, okay, administrators can navigate to C Windows temp, system, and so on. What's so specific about users? Users can execute files, can write data, cannot navigate to this folder, cannot open it in Explorer.exe. So if I go to Explorer.exe as limited user, if I go with Explorer.exe to C Windows temp as limited user, like this, Windows temp, you will see that access is denied for limited user, for normal user. But if you check carefully, I cackles command, you will see that users actually are permitted to write data, not read data, but write data and execute files. So you could actually copy files to CWindows temp and execute them from this folder. Well, it's like this. I cannot navigate to this folder. I am admin. You cannot navigate, but you can do what? Download files directly, or just simply copy some exe to CWindows temp some exe like this. This is going to work. Well, the main controller. The main controller has its sensitive data on the C drive by default, in Windows folder by default, and TDS folder. So this is Windows NT Directory Services database. And there are tools which are able to decrypt data within NTDS as well. So there's a big difference. If you go to SAM file on the main controller, this is a little bit different. So in Windows folder, if you go to System32 config, you'll see SAM file in here. Yeah, but this SAM file only contains built-in administrator account, which is used for safe mode. If you boot the main controller into so-called directory services restore mode, yes, you could log in as this local user account. To reset admin password in Active Directory, you need some other tools, such as if you lost your domain admin password, you could use the technique of installing faked service from command line a system. Basically, if you just simply replace this executable with cmd.exe, this is quite enough to hack into the main controller as well. Not only like limit local workstation. Let's check for hashes on some computers. For this attack, I will not use the main controller. I will use maybe attacker machine. Let me check how many users I have in here on attacker machine. Yeah, I still have some users. I can add some users. Let's crack some hashes. And for this, please go to computer management on attacker machine and create some users, such as I will create Peter with password 1 and the student with password 123. So I will hack password 1 with dictionary attack, and I will hack 123 with brute force attack. So that's the first step. Second is to have application which dumps credentials from SAM. One of the applications which is widely utilized by attackers is pwdump7. I will show you where to find this tool. In CEHv13, not in Peer Tools, this time in SecTools. You go to CEHv13, you go to System Hacking, you go to Password Dumping Tools. Where is it? Password cracking, not exactly. Yes, tools to extract password hashes. So pwdump7 is de facto enterprise standard of dumping passwords from SAM. And it creates passwords, it dumps passwords in specific format. So what I will do, extract this from zip and copy it to my desktop just to have quick access. So once again, where to get this tool? It's in CEHv13, module 6, tools to extract password, pwdump7. But for latest demos, I have used another tool in Peter Tools, if you go to secure, you will see secure hash dump. What is it? Secure hash dump version 3, this one. So I will copy this one to my desktop as well. So this is the package of Secure Academy tools. Okay. I'm going to my desktop. Going to the folder PWM7, what we have in here, like PWM7, just simply enter. And that's the format of PWM7. There is the username, relative security ID, LM hash, and NTLM hash. So this one is relative ID, this one is LM hash, and this one is NTLM hash. You could try dumping this file on remote systems. You need system privileges or admin privileges for this. Limited users cannot do this, cannot dump hashes. Or say CQ hash dump and say -- some dump. Oh, come on. They want me to escalate privileges manually. Not the best idea, but okay. On E drive, I'm going to PS Tools, sysinternals, and PS exec-c the CMV-exe to have system privileges in this window. Okay, going to my desktop. Desktop PWDump7 and CQ hash dump -- some dump. Probably this one. Now you see basically the same output in this case. But there is no big difference in this specific dump. But you see CQ hash dump has more capabilities. There is one more way to get hashes from system. You don't need to repeat everything. If you see that I'm too quick, you don't need to launch each and every tool. Because say on exam, they may ask you, what is PWDump7? You don't need to execute it. You don't need to have switches. Just simply, you need to know that PWDump7 is designed to dump hashes. And that's it. On exam, they will not ask you anything on Secure Academy tools, just nothing. So this is just simply added value. What they will ask you on exam specifically is Kane. Let's dump hashes in Kane. So please run Kane on attacker machine. And let's check what we have in here. So please go to Kane, navigate to Cracker tab, click NTLM hashes, click white space, and click plus. So once again, I'm running Kane, I'm switching to Cracker, clicking NTLM hashes, clicking white space, and clicking plus. And there's a question from Kane, where do you want to dump hashes from? From local system, yeah, you can do it. From text file, they talk about a dump file. That's why I have discussed PWDump before Kane. And This one, if you steal some database from your victim, please also take system file as well. So you will have additional boot key in this file. In this exercise, I will dump hashes from local system, and this is it. Go. So I have accounts. I have hashes. NTLM hashes are not in use on this system, still could be enabled and always worth trying. But in this case, we only have multiple NTLM hashes. This one most probably empty, empty, empty. And now I have some other hashes in here. Interesting that Peter and manager have the same hash. As you might see, if you reuse passwords, the same password for multiple accounts, you will see one and the same hash. In Linux systems, salting is used to change hashes for the same passwords. In Windows, they do not perform salting of separate hashes. They perform salting of the whole database. That's why when importing hashes, you need this key. Basically, this is salting. What do I do next? If I have sniffed hashes from the network or received from local system, what do you do next? Right-click, and you select what type of attack you would like to execute. I just simply know that student has very simple password. That's why I select brute force. I just need to make sure I select the right type of hash. In this case, this is just simply NTLM hash, nothing else. When you sniff hashes from the network, you may use NTLM session security hashes. In this case, this is just simply NTLM hash. So you need to specify a length of the password beginning with 1 and at most 16. The character set, unfortunately, you cannot customize character set in Kane. This is so bad. But anyway, this character set is good as the beginning. And if you just simply click start, you will have your result. Because the password of 123 could be cracked in 1/1,000,000th of a second. As you might see, there's a big difference in brute forcing SSH sessions and NTLM hashes. NTLM hash could be cracked like at the rate of 10 million attempts a second. SSH sessions are live, performed via network, and they are much, much slower. Okay, so I have cracked student account, student password. Any success from your side, please?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, good, thanks.
Because I've succeeded.
Okay, good. So talking about Sheila, she has very simple password, test something. Right-click, dictionary attack, NTLM hash. So this time I will use dictionary attack and perform very quick scan of as is. Game comes with a dictionary. If you right-click here and select Add to List, you will figure out that there is a word list folder. Just take this word list and try. So in 2 seconds, it cracked it as test. So So if you have some success, just tell me.
Yes, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah, success again.
good. Shall I continue? Peter has a little bit more complicated password because it includes capitals, digits. So what I'm going to do is the same dictionary attack for anti-long hash, but I will customize the attack. So from all of those checkboxes, I leave two numbers hybrid root. Hybrid attack means you take the word from dictionary and add digits by the end. And also, this should be case sensitive.